everyone, my name is Seth, and today I'm going to give you my review of Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish came out in December of 2022, and that was one with the holiday season and just everything. I ended up missing that while it was in theaters, but it was nominated for Best Animated Feature Film at the Oscars. And I have heard so many good things about this movie. And the other day when I realized that it was on Peacock, I knew that was my chance to go ahead and watch it. And let me tell you what, I did not regret it at all. But before I go any further, go ahead and like the video, hit subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you can receive notifications for when I upload my next video. Now, I think maybe part of the reason why I missed it when it was in theaters is because I really had absolutely zero interest in this movie. I know I've watched the first Puss in Boots movie, but it has just basically went in one ear out the other. Like, I do not remember a thing about it. I guess that's better than me thinking it's absolutely horrible, but I don't remember anything about it. So this wasn't necessarily like a must-see movie for me, but just to kind of get into it real quick, I absolutely think that you should watch this. If you were questioning it any at all, or it was just one that you just happened to miss or whatever, I strongly encourage you to watch it. It is so well done. Like, it is so much better than I thought it would be. Just so you know, I will get into a little bit of spoilers here. It's been a little bit since it came out, so I will be going into a little bit of spoilers as I review, just in case you have not seen it. The first thing that comes to my mind when I was watching this is how visually interesting it is. It really seems like they took a little bit of inspiration from Into the Spider-Verse, because the animation does look a little bit different than like the other Shrek movies. It really almost has like a kind of like a storybook kind of feel to it, while still remaining true to the previous animation style. It just tweaks it a little bit, and I think it's completely fitting that it kind of has like a storybook feel to it, since it's dealing with fairy tale characters and things like that. And they use color so well here. There's some parts of it where they just go like almost completely full red screen with some black, and they have a bunch of like bright purples and blues, and it's just stunning to look at. But they use the color very well. It's not just a colorful kids movie just to be a colorful kids movie. They use color very purposefully, and it really works. And even though it's an animated movie, the camera work is incredible. Like, they were creative with their shots. It would have been so easy just to have this almost be like a standard action comedy animated family film, but they took extra time and they really delivered some great cinematography in this, and the detail in the world is awesome. The frenetic style and cinematography in this absolutely fits the character, and it helps emphasize all of the characters' movements and things like that, and it just works so well. And the themes of this movie is surprisingly mature to go along with the mature filmmaking, as the use of colors and the cinematography. I mean, it deals with themes of mortality and fear and anxiety and found family, and I absolutely was not expecting it to be that deep. The story is good. It's very simple. We start with Puss in Boots being on his last of his 9 lives, and he wants to go and find this last wish so that he can wish for more lives back and continue being an adventurer and things like that. And this might sound weird, but it kind of gave me a little bit of Mad Max Fury Road vibes, because you have Puss in Boots and Perito and Kitty Softpaws all going together as a group to find this wish. But then you also have Jack Horner and his group trying to follow them and get to the last wish. And then you have Goldilocks and the three bears also trying to get to that last wish. And they're all kind of chasing each other and they converge at different points. It is well done, but it really kind of gives me some Mad Max Fury Road vibes. And I love Mad Max Fury Road. So that is an absolute compliment. But even though the story might be simple, it gives room for really good character development. As you see Puss in Boots go on this story, he starts to change. He starts to realize, there's more to living than just going out and being an adventurer and doing whatever you want. Like, that's not necessarily what makes life worth living. It's the people around you that really makes a difference in your life. And so in this, Death, or the wolf, is chasing Puss in Boots, kind of the whole thing, going along with the Mad Max Fury Road kind of theme of it all. And he might be one of the most intimidating kids movie villains, because he says at the end, like, he actually is like the personification of death, and he was chasing him and really wanting to get to him because he was such a arrogant and self-absorbed kind of person, or cat, I guess I should say. And at the end, Death sees that he's changed and says, "We will meet again, but I will leave you alone to live your life. You are not the cat you once were." And that's a good thing. But right from the start with the wolf / Death, he was so intimidating. Like, it made the hair on my arm stand up, gave me chills. And every time he appeared in the movie, that there was trouble. And that's kind of where some of the anxiety that Puss in Boots deals with. He hides at the beginning. And I think it's interesting, the place that he hides with this kind of crazy old cat lady. One thing I got to mention is that that lady gives him the name of Pickles. And that is actually the name of my wife's childhood cat. And so I just thought that was really funny. When they got to that dark, forbidden forest, and they had the map, and it would change depending on who was kind of looking at it, I was really hoping that they would use that toward the climax of the story, and they absolutely did. I was so glad that they did that. That's what I would have done, and I'm so glad they did that. It worked really well. And I love the relationship between Puss in Boots and Kitty Softpaws and the dog. I thought they all worked really well together, and you really got some backstory between those two that really informed their characters more, and it just was really well done. And they did a lot of showing and not telling, and that is exactly what you need to do. It would be so easy just to kind of dumb everything down and just tell kids what's going on, just flat out, but they trusted their filmmaking and they showed instead of telling, which I thought was great. And you can tell all of the actors were having such a good time. Antonio Banderas was awesome. Like, he just brought so much life into Puss in Boots. He's done that before in the Shrek movies and whatever, but like, he really just took this by the reins, and like, he did such a good job giving all of this emotion to Puss in Boots in this story. And then Selma Hayek as Kitty Softpaws was awesome. She was like a really good kind of springboard for his character, and I feel like they really worked together. Another actor that really, I guess, kind of caught me off guard that she was in this that I didn't realize was that Florence Pugh played Goldilocks. And she did a really good job, and she brought a lot of emotion to that character and to that side story with Goldilocks and the three bears. That was another part of the story that still really focused on the found family aspect. And again, I thought that was done really well. There's a couple things that didn't work for me as well. I didn't think all of the humor worked. I thought some of the humor with Perito, the dog, it took me a little bit to warm up to him. I did warm up to him and I ended up enjoying his character, but I really didn't care or like his character until they started getting on the road to the Dark Forest. And not all the jokes landed for me. I will say most did. Some got a pretty good laugh out of me, but not all of the jokes landed. And there was a few more that didn't land that I really would have hoped for. And one that really comes to my mind, and it kind of took me out of the movie, was I'm guessing it was this way in the theatrical cut because it wouldn't make sense for it not to be. But like, there were a few times where there were like bleeps, like you would see on like a reality TV show or something. And my first thought was like, oh, is that censoring for Peacock? And then there was another scene toward the end. I'm like, no, that can't be. And so I'm like, was that in the theatrical version? That doesn't make any sense. That completely took me out of the movie. I did not like that at all. But really, I had such a good time with this movie, and it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's not too short, but it's like about an hour and 40 minutes. And I think it absolutely gets in. It tells a story. It tells a story well, and it gets out without having too much fluff. It ended well. I liked the final ending, the final confrontation when they were all fighting over the star map. And then I loved the fight there at the end between Death and Puss in Boots. That was incredibly well done. And the way they defeated Jack Horner, I thought that was really well done. That was a good ending. I also got to say, I kind of like that Jiminy Cricket kind of character. That was where a lot of the last for me came. I thought that was really funny. But yeah, that's really it for me. Like, this is a really enjoyable movie. I think it honestly has some good lessons that could be learned from it. And all of the performances were good. The action was awesome. The cinematography, the color, it was just a really well-made film. And it absolutely deserved to get nominated for Best Animated Feature. And that's it. That's my review of Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, @CinemaSeth. And go ahead and like the video, hit subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you can receive notifications when I upload my next video. And I'll see you next time.